Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, what's happening? Happy Monday. Good morning and welcome onto the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and worldwide through the 100.7 The Score mobile app. You can even listen in, down in Shreveport, Louisiana, alongside Geoff Haxton. I'm Chois Woodman. Lucas White, back behind the glass, taking care of us. You may also hit us up. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions, allegations, accusations, hopes, dreams, reaction to anything you saw this weekend. You are welcome to pump that all in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the 100.7 The Score mobile app. We will cover an array of topics as usual today. Get into some Texas Tech football talk as the Red Raiders destined for the Independence Bowl in Shreveport. We will talk some college football playoff as they screwed it up royally, my opinion. We'll see if Hax matches up with that or not. We will get into some Texas Tech basketball conversation. Portal Potty officially opens up today, and we are seeing some big names already that waited around till today to make the announcements. But
Texas Tech, by the way, 87 in the first net for college basketball.
Oh, I didn't see a first net. Okay.
It just came out today, this morning.
Lots of stuff to get into.
About 45 minutes ago came out. So, okay. 87.
How you doing?
Good. Good.
It's a lot of energy for a Monday.
Good.
Golly, what kind of herbal tea are you drinking lately?
Diet Dr. Diesel.
Okay.
That's it.
That's God's herbal tea.
Yeah. No, it's interesting time.
Goodness. What a world we live in. Where you can go 13-0 and be left out of a Power 5 and playoff, or you can, basically you're up as
I think
on the chopping block on the block.
Speaking of chopping blocks, that's what I had pictured in my mind. We have literally, I think, dropped the guillotine on college athletics.
Whew.
Okay, and severed everything that's good about it.
I wouldn't say everything, but I'd go with most.
Not everything.
Because we're still coming back to it.
Yeah.
We still come back.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Here we are. Incredible TV ratings. Mm-hmm. Incredible money generated. Enough to where you can pay players like you are, not to mention the scholarships and everything. And we still keep coming back.
We do.
And that's fascinating because I think some incredible damage has been done to collegiate athletics as a whole. And I think that we're going to see that further down the road when these poor sports that aren't football or maybe men's and women's basketball have to start traveling all the way across the country to play a league game and that kind of thing. And where Dylan Gabriel, who just up and transfers again after
a 10-2 season.
A 10-2 season and a good bowl bid, and
he was the best quarterback in the Big 12 this year.
Yeah, he was.
He was. I mean, and he up and transfers. And how about Kyle McCord this morning from Ohio State? Same thing.
Man, you guys are
comes off an 11-1
You guys are
year.
at the apex predator schools. And you're the dudes at said schools.
Right. It's not like you're losing playing time.
BMOC, big man on campus, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's not anybody bigger than the quarterback on campus at an Ohio State or Oklahoma.
Yep.
And
not supposed to be.
You wake up and they're vanished, gone. It's amazing where we're at. And I just... crazy. These coaches, they get paid $1 kajillion. And, if you start looking at what they bring in, if they do their winning to a conference championship and make it to a big bowl or make it to the collegiate playoff, then you know it's worth it because enrollment numbers are going to go up, your exposure goes up, all the things that you want on your campus are going to be better and better, and so those guys earn their $7 to $12 million a year, whatever it is. And now you figure in having to move around and dance around with this transfer portal. It's like, man, maybe that's right. Maybe it's worth it to pay these guys what they're getting paid because they're having to handle a lot. And then like college basketball, you're looking at 13 to 15 guys or 13 to 15 girls. Maybe a few more if you got walk-ons, but if you have 5 of those people leave, then okay, all right, it's on to the transfer portal, and who are we going to get or who are we going to recruit? We're talking about 100 guys here.
Yeah.
And 100 guys, 30, 40 could put their name in the transfer portal. I mean, it's just...
Oh, absolutely.
It's just bizarro, man.
What did we set the over-under at for Tech last week? I think I said 14 players. And I still don't think it's going to be more than that for Tech. That's what's weird. Is like we'll see. Today is the day we're already seeing. I think you got 7 guys in there currently.
Mm-hmm.
7 that we talked about, all offensive. Up to this point, you'll get some more backups, but I haven't had that big surprise name. I mean,
and that's what
the big surprise. Who would be the big surprise at this point?
Who would be the big surprise?
If Tech,
Baron Morton.
That would be it, right?
Yeah.
If Baron Morton just out of nowhere just tosses his name in the portal, you're like, holy cow, what is going on?
Yeah,
right
what's
now?
happening?
I mean, can you imagine if you're an OU fan waking up this morning?
Yeah.
What did we do to
Yeah,
Dylan
we lost
Gabriel?
our quarterback. He's gone.
What did we do to him? Yeah, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And this is why
That Dr. Pepper commercial is pretty darn
it is
right on.
It's accurate.
I can't use my Dr. Pepper hand.
Yes. The other Dr. Pepper commercial super accurate too. The one where it's just the first play of the game.
Yeah.
Everybody they go burn the jerseys and burn it's just that's Tech fans right there.
Yeah.
It's just the first play of the game. No, that's every fan base. I won't throw us all under. But no, seriously, I just told you this going into before the show started. But do we need contracts in college football?
Man,
because that's what keeps people sitting in one place in pro football. It is in pro sports. You have contracts for a reason. Because do you think people wouldn't want to jump a terrible 3-12
yes, you're right.
team in the NFL?
And you got to be able to create a team.
Yeah,
the coaches, the GMs, the owners, they have to know who their personnel is without wondering if and it used to be so much about playing time.
it did.
It's about playing time.
That's what it was for a long time.
Or I'm homesick.
Those were the two. Yep.
I'm homesick. I want to get closer to home, and I'm still talented. I can go play for maybe a lesser team, but it's closer to home, and I'll get more playing time. I'm the second string quarterback. This guy's really good, we found out. He's going to be here for 3 years.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a backup, man, you might want to just chill. You might want to just sit there if you're a backup quarterback,
right.
Because if that guy's gotten good enough to where he can get in a bidding war, he's probably going to do it,
Starter's
and you're
gonna
going to be the starter.
Exactly.
So now all the reasons that we used to have to transfer don't matter anymore.
It's nuts. It is the Wild West.
And we hadn't
Joey
even
McGuire
touched on
called
the
it
committee
yesterday.
yet.
No, and we will. We'll talk plenty about that. We'll talk bowl game. Got a lot to get into on this Monday. And it's Music Monday. Headlines next. It's the end of the bench on 100.7 The Score.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
We got headlines for you. What you need to know, part of the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Chois, Woodman, Geoff, Haxton, Lucas White with you. We'll start the headlines off with announcement. Well, you probably heard it, unless you've just been kind of snoozing for a while. Texas Tech to play against the Cal Golden Bears in the Independence Bowl coming up on December 16th. That is 12 days from right now. This is about the earliest we've ever seen bowl games, so get your holiday plans ready if you're planning on going. Red Raiders will take on the Cal Golden Bears. 8:15 kickoff on December 16th. Of course, you'll be able to listen to the game on Double T 97.3 as well as 100.7 The Score, but there's a basketball game that night as well against Vanderbilt. So we will we'll have all the coverage you need for that contest. Of course, last time Red Raiders played against Cal was 2004 Holiday Bowl. It was a pretty good day. Tech beat the 4th-ranked Cal Golden Bears and Aaron Rodgers 45-31 that day. So get a rematch of that contest almost 2 decades later, 19 years later since that game has been played. That is crazy. It also shows the age of Aaron Rodgers. That was his last college game 19 years ago. But will be an interesting one in the Independence Bowl from Shreveport. College football playoff is set. We'll get into the weeds of this one in a little bit, but it's number 1 Michigan, number 2. I just blanked. Who's number 2? Oh yeah, Washington. Number 3 Texas. Number 4 Alabama. Those last 2 teams, 1-loss teams that hopped over undefeated Florida State. And then Georgia came in at 6th in the final rankings. That is the setting for the college football playoff, the last year of 4 teams. Man, if only they could have expedited the process to get us a 12-team playoff. We could have had a pretty awesome 12-team playoff this year, but instead it will be maybe the biggest what-if year ever when it comes to who could
I do think maybe
champion.
You needed a dumpster fire, one last big, huge dumpster fire before.
To confirm what?
Well, yeah.
Affirm, like, the decision to go to 12 teams?
Until you go to the playoff. Because
Yeah, if they didn't have the decision already kind of in the bag, I think we would have seen a 12-team playoff next year because of what happened this year.
Probably.
Yeah, I think they would have, gone to that immediately because of what happened this year, because you're having big names left out that could possibly be in. In the NFL yesterday, of course, Cowboys played on Thursday night. Chiefs lose to the Packers 27-19 last night. Pat Mahomes and company coming up short. There were some really bad calls down the stretch in this game on both sides. You rolling your eyes at me or just at the referees for that? Because
the latter.
I mean, holy cow. First, Mahomes gets a beneficial call on the sideline where he's clearly in bounds and gets popped.
It was whiplash. It was so bad. It was like, okay, you're protecting Patrick Mahomes, and
I know, yeah.
and then
see all the conspiracy theorists one way, and then there's conspiracy theorists of, they don't want the Chiefs to win anymore.
Yeah, it was flying back and forth, man. It was crazy.
There were 2 pass interferences. The Hail Mary, you never get that call, but he clearly shoves him in the back. And then the other one is
I'm watching
blatant of pass interference.
I'm watching that Hail Mary, and it's from the wide shot. So I mean, it's not like we could. And you just see Kelsey,
just tumble forward.
It's like, now, granted, there's a massive humanity there, but
sure,
you could just see him just like go nose toward the ground. Now, he's so strong he didn't go to the ground, but
no,
maybe he should have. He might have should have flopped it out, but
maybe
there's so much flopping going on in all over sports.
Did you see LeBron got an actual tech called against him for the flopping?
And what happened to college basketball? Remember that where you would.
Last year, they pulled that. I'm pretty sure
they pulled the plug on that.
We need to ask Snead, but I'm pretty sure they pulled the emphasis off of that. I think it's still a rule, but
I've not seen one referee do this.
Right,
which is the elbows.
And I've seen a couple of instances where it definitely could have been called.
I've not seen any of that. I was like,
yeah,
guys. Speaking of whiplash, I mean, we're just going
all the way back.
But yeah, I think
they probably pulled it off with the change of the charge block rule, which hasn't been as drastic as they've said. There's a difference, but it hadn't been the 90% that they told us, right?
Man, I haven't seen hardly any charges.
But you haven't seen a ton of blocks either. It almost seems like guys are not
getting
in there because they know the rules there.
It's got to save coaches a lot of time because I remember so many coaches over the years taking a large chunk of practice and going about how to take charges. You got to step in there, and they let anybody and their dog run in there and knock somebody over. And
now let's just try guarding the open man. Let's work on that in practice.
See if there's maybe a guy within 10 feet.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That happened to Butler.
Anyway, yeah. So Chiefs lose to the Packers last night.
But the worst one was over the middle.
Because the Chiefs would have had the ball around, the 12-yard line or so, and 40-something seconds left. Very good chance that they'll get a chance to tie it or at least score the touchdown and go for 2. Instead, we kind of get robbed of a good finish there. And
I don't know. I was pretty tired. I was like, okay, all right.
It was a late game. Texans win again. They win over the Broncos, snapping a 5-game winning streak for Denver, 22-17. The Texans beat the Broncos there. So Texans still rolling. We have Stars at Lightning tonight at 6 o'clock for all you NHL fans. High school fan zone for you tonight as well. Coaches from Coronado, Estacado, Lubbock High, and Monterey, all LISD schools tonight, starting at 6 o'clock on 100.7 The Score. On Double T 97.3, 6 o'clock Cowboys Hour, 7 o'clock Bengals at Jags on Double T 97.3. We'd love to have your thoughts, your comments. Roll them in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. One more note as well, as UTEP has reportedly hired Scotty Walden as their new head football coach, according to footballscoop.com. Walden has spent the last 4 seasons at Austin P, going 26-14. Let's go P! They do say that, right?
They do.
I thought so. Why would you? They're like, okay, Chois, why are you telling us UTEP's head football coach? Well, because you had 2 guys off your staff interview for that job. Both Zach reportedly interviewed. Zach Kitley and Kenny Perry interviewed for that job. And it sounded like Kitley was a finalist, like down to the final 3 or so. So, for all you people trying to get rid of Kitley, this was not the one for you. He will, at least as of right now, be back. We'll see what happens further on in the coaching carousel. But there you go. UTEP has made its hire for Scotty Walden. You too can join us. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions, all of it welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the 100.7 The Score mobile app. All right, so college football playoff. We don't have enough time to really dive in here. We'll dabble in that in a moment.
How about Shreveport? If you go, you're going to have a good time. How about that? We can do this last minute.
If you go, you're going to have a good time.
If you go, you're
talking
going to have
me
a good
or
time.
to anybody?
No, I know you're going.
I'm
just talking about
I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm going.
Oh, really?
We'll see.
Well, I need an engineer over in Fort Worth if you want to come haul that around for me.
Go do that and then hop in the car. Go to
what else is going on? There's 3 big things going on. Something on campus, I think.
It's graduation.
Oh, yeah.
I think the same day, yeah.
So I think
you got
football,
graduation that day
basketball.
/ morning. You got basketball at 6:30. Anyway, we can get them to move that up at Dickey's or swap places with someone else.
I would love to. Let's do it at 2 o'clock.
There's 2 or 3 games going on.
Oh, that's right.
Well, I'm saying, can't you swap? Let's swap places.
Yeah.
I'm sure Tech would love that.
Well, and I don't know.
I don't even know does this count as an MTE?
No,
because it's not multiple games.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like who the other teams are playing. I've seen it, but I've forgotten. And then of course that game, 8:15 p.m. kickoff from Shreveport. I'm sure there will be a lot of bars filled with Tech fans that are at the basketball game on Saturday night, heading over to watch some football. Will be interesting.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thanks so much for hanging with us on a Monday. It is the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com, the 100.7 The Score mobile app, so you can take just about anywhere with you. Alongside Geoff Haxton, I'm Chois, Woodman, Lucas White. Back behind the glass handling us. Keep hitting us up. We know we've got a lot of your thoughts in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line, much about the college football playoff. We'll try to catch up on some of that here momentarily. There's a whole lot going on over the weekend as well. NFL course, bowl game announcements everywhere. And then the transfer portal.
Did you see all the upsets in college basketball over the weekend?
There's quite a few, yeah.
Did you see Villanova lost again?
Oh, my gosh. What's going to happen? They lost to
St. Joe's and Drexel.
Drexel, yeah. And then
so they were 18-point favorites and lost.
They play UCLA at some
How
point
about your Dogs? 24-point favorites?
Is this what's happening? I think Villanova is doing the same thing that Creighton did last year. Remember? Because they played really well in Maui.
Mm-hmm.
And then they hit a lull.
Clunk, 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 yeah.
And then they picked back up, and we're a pretty darn good team at the end of the year.
Southern beat Mississippi State. Southern.
Why can't Southern beat Ole Miss?
60
That's
to
the
59.
team I want to lose.
Yeah, they're undefeated.
With a lot of really close losses to not very good teams. They did beat Memphis, unfortunately. Dadgummit. I hope they just crash and burn. I don't know. All right. Keep the thoughts coming in on the Yates Flowing Center chat line. I said I was going to read the tweet from Travis Sanders. For anyone interested, it's sad. Sanders says, devastated. Travis Sanders? Whoa. I think I mixed up like 4 different players there. Jordan Travis is who I'm looking for. Florida State quarterback. Who's Travis Sanders? I think there's a Travis Hunter and a Shadur Sanders that both play for Colorado.
Head spinning here.
And Jordan Travis is who I was hunting for. I need a strike there, please, sir. I missed on that one pretty bad. Thank you. Devastated, heartbroken, and so much disbelief right now. I wish my leg broke earlier in the season so y'all could see that this team was much more than a quarterback. I thought results matter, 13-0, and this roster matches up across any team in those in the top 4 rankings. I am so sorry. Go Noles. That's sad that a quarterback has to tweet that. But it's so right. I wish I broke my leg earlier so you guys could see that our team's a good football team. It's not all about me. Good leadership there. Sad, but will be, nothing of it. This is where, college football has gone to hell. People feel sorry for Florida State.
Yeah.
Touche. College football is just stupidity. There's a couple of people telling me that agree, but my math was off with the Texas thing. Yes, thank you. Hard to complain about a bowl game, but dang, anything before Christmas is crap bowls. Not much extra practice everyone talks about being the benefit. The way the bowl schedule falls this year is really weird. So, did you see when the Texas Bowl plays?
No. Mm-mm.
That we have A&M and OSU in?
Mm.
December 17th, the day after the Tech game. So you're sitting there thinking, man, you were playing on December 28th last year with the Texas Bowl. It's moved up 11 days.
Huh.
There's the way this falls because of NFL games and because of the way the calendar is this year. And they're trying to get as many of these bowl games on Saturdays because apparently those get just better ratings on Saturdays for college football. The way all this falls, I think I also read that this is the earliest that a bowl game can fall in a calendar year, the 16th, when it happens to go the way this calendar is and the way the Saturday is it kind of stinks that it's this early, but there's really nothing you can do about it. I'm with T-Money there. You can't really complain about a bowl game, but the timing of it does just feel odd. And anything before, I think in a lot of years you could say anything before Christmas is a crap bowl, but with the Texas Bowl, which is a pretty good bowl game, playing on the 17th, you can't really use that as a blanket statement. Mm-hmm. So, Panhandle Raiders said, depending on how this portal mess goes, it may be better to attend the basketball game. Vandy lost to someone earlier this year that was a not a good team.
I'll look it up because I know it. Yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
I remember seeing it. I just can't remember who it was. But that's a 4-4 Vanderbilt team. Texas Tech should be favored going into that matchup. So
should win.
Should win, yeah. I would think so. I think he'll be a decent favorite going into that contest, but we'll see. I think that's just a preference thing. What do you want to go see more?
Right.
A lower tier bowl game, or to be honest,
they lost to Presbyterian.
That's what it was. Yes,
68-62.
Yes, because you brought that up. You're like Presbyterian.
Yeah, and here now listen to this.
What have they done
beat
since?
USC Upstate by 7.
Mm-hmm.
They beat UNC Greensboro by 4. They beat Central Arkansas by 4. Then lost to NC State and Arizona State and Boston College. Got beat by 18 by Boston College.
Oof.
And then they beat Alabama A&M.
So they played 3 Power 5 opponents and lost pretty significantly to all 3. Guess they played NC State within 6 points.
Within 6, yeah.
But Arizona State, 15-point loss. Boston College, 18-point loss. So, yeah, you can go watch the Vanderbilt game, and Tech should win that one. I would project right now by double digits. Let's say about a 10-point win. That's what you should have. Or you can go to the bowl game and experience Shreveport for the first time in, what's it been, 25 years that Tech has been in there. I wouldn't tell you which one's better, but it'd be interesting to see what the kind of Red Raider contingency is there in Shreveport, because it is a 2-hour-ish drive from the Metroplex and not that far from Houston. And, yeah, I think you'll see quite a few Red Raider fans still in attendance for that one. This from the chat line. Travis Sanders, Texas Tech baseball. Thank you. There you go. There's where I mixed that up. There is a Travis Sanders that plays for Tech baseball. And he might have been your starting shortstop last year. Don't know if he wasn't hurt. He was a freshman that they got hurt and had to miss the whole season. Good job, chatline. Thank you for that help. Totally forgot about that. On the Georgetown screwing, according to the commentary, being out of bounds wasn't reviewable. Is that accurate? Because I thought anything under 2 minutes they can review. I'm pretty sure they can check and see if a guy's on the foot is on the 3-point line. They can't check and see if it's on the sideline.
Not to mention all the fingernail touches that cause
because that goes
possession.
out of bounds.
Yeah,
I don't believe that to be
wild.
accurate. I don't believe it to be accurate, but if it is,
maybe
then they have to change that rule. Horrific.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Rolling on to hour number 3. It's the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Also the 100.7 The Score mobile app and on television, Fox 34 News Now. However, and wherever you're joining us from, we are glad that you've chosen to make us part of your
Monday.
Monday? It is. Doesn't feel like a Monday. Kind of does, but doesn't. You can hit us up. Whatever thoughts, comments, questions you got, bring those in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the 100.7 The Score mobile app. That voice you heard is Geoff Haxton. I'm Chois Woodman. Keep the commentary rolling in. Lucas White across the way taking care of us. We are about 45 minutes out from Ask the Benchwarmers. So you got questions, bring those in. We've covered a lot of territory, including Florida State, sadness, Portal Potty. Not a lot, still not a lot from Texas Tech. Kind of waiting on that. Haven't seen any new names today. Someone did ask earlier if we could update the names that are in the portal for Tech. Lucas, we might need a little flush here to just get everybody up to date. Thank you. So here's what I've got down. If anybody's got any that I'm missing, you can let me know, because I may have missed one over the weekend, but I believe this is the up-to-date list. Landon Peterson, Tyler Shuck, Miles Price, Matt Keeler, Jerron Bradley, Nehemiah Martinez went in on Friday, and then I saw Monroe Mills as well over the weekend. Mills is probably, outside of Bradley and Price, your biggest name, because he played significant minutes, snaps for Texas Tech this year on the offensive line, and he has 2 years of eligibility left. So I don't think it's that surprising, though, that we've talked about the biggest issue with this team being your offense, and all 7 guys I just mentioned are offensive players. Shuck, you can just toss that to the side. Different circumstances, different issues. But your other 6 guys are all offensive players up to this point from the portal. And I think you're...
How many Big 12 quarterbacks? We had Shapen,
Howard,
Shuck,
Will Howard, and Dylan Gabriel. I think that's it so far. That's all I've seen.
Wouldn't surprise me if that number.
Arch Manning, just kidding. But we're going to probably have to wait till the spring on that one when Quinn Ewers announces he's going to stay. And Manning's like, screw this. I'm leaving in the spring portal. You think he would? I don't know what his contract of $3 million plus looks like as the third string quarterback. I think Malik Murphy will leave for Texas.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah. 7 is what I've got down. Again, tell us on the chat line if there's anybody I'm missing.
To be honest, I think that's pretty good.
What'd you say?
Just that number is only 7.
Well, I mean, seriously, I bet there's a lot more at other stops right now. I don't really have a feeler out for what's going on at NC State or what's happening in a lot of other locales, but someone said Manning has already said he's staying at Texas. Yeah, he's got to get that extra $3 million for next year probably. I don't know. Arch seems like it's hard to tell with him. He seems like he's actually got a good head on his shoulders. And probably helps that he's got some really good football people around him in his family. Y'all keep hitting us up. Your thoughts, comments rolling in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Did you see this? I'm way late on this, but there was a graphic. I think this was on Thursday night from ESPN on one of the BYU players named Spencer Johnson. Have you seen this?
Mm-mm.
So they compared Spencer Johnson to Jason Tatum, who's a BYU basketball player. Comparing him to Jason Tatum. Spencer Johnson. Birthday, 9/3/97. Jason Tatum, 3/3/98. Tatum's been in the league for a long time right now in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Years in the NBA, 7. Johnson, 0. This is an ESPN graphic. NBA earnings, Johnson, $0. Jason Tatum, $98 million. And then Cougar tells enjoyed, 30. Tatum, 0. Oh, just showing the age of these guys. Tatum's been in the league 7 years, and he was born in 1998. That'll make you feel
crazy.
Pretty old. That'll make you feel pretty old. But I saw that, and I was like, that is the most funny BYU Mormon thing out there. I said I was going to bring you the toilet story. You heard of smart TVs, smart even refrigerators out there. Yeah. I did not know smart toilets existed. Did you?
No.
Well, you may not want one because recently a man in China had his smart toilet burst into flames while he was using it. He said, oh my gosh, he was able to get off this thing before it exploded. His toilet. This reminds me of that news clip where the guy in the Home Depot bathroom said, I'm going to go blow this up. They called the cops.
He was going to, quote, blow it up. Which I'm just getting what...
It's one of the greatest
best news bloopers of all time.
Ever. But
they kick it back to the other anchor and he's dying.
This dude could say, man, I blew that one up, blew that toilet up. Saw plumes of white smoke billowing from the toilet bowl and got off. He said before he could pull up his pants, the toilet exploded, started burning. Thankfully, was not hurt.
Oh, yeah.
It's unclear what started the fire, but the man thinks it may have sparked by a short circuit. Unclear what kind of smart toilet he had. But there are automatic ones that have automatic flushing, obviously heated toilet seats and water nice water conservation features and self-cleaning functions.
Oh,
I can speak.
man,
Smart toilet, maybe
Just
not on the list.
get some Comet, huh?
Oh my gosh.
What was that stuff that I used that got me so high I couldn't see straight? Kaboom or something?
Kaboom. So there you go. If you're in the market for a smart toilet for Christmas, maybe think twice about it. It'll be worse. That or all these stories you see where a snake is in the toilet bowl and you don't know it. Those are pretty scary. Always check it, especially in countries where snakes are everywhere.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's time for Ask the Benchwarmers. Bring your questions in right now. Yates Flooring Center chat line through the 100.7 The Score mobile app and at 107thescore.com. You can tweet us on the Twitter or the X or whatever we're calling it. Has anybody gone to actually calling it X out there?
I don't.
I don't either. I've seen a couple people, but it's Twitter. At 107 The Score, what you need there. And Visual Edge IT hotline, 806-771-0973. He's Hax. I'm Chois. Lucas across the way. Questions for any and all of us are welcome. Let's start with this question. It's kind of a long-winded one, but I want to get it in because it was a little earlier. Gents, are either of you in the boat of not enjoying college football as much? I'm there. I'm someone that those who know me would have say I would never have said such a thing, but over the past few years and what college football is turning into, I'm in the boat of not caring anymore, and the Florida State snub just intensified it. I'll watch Tech, but I'm not sure that I'll watch much college football anymore. And outside of it, did not watch much this year, I think, and I may be wrong, but it's just me, but I think college football is going down the road that will have many fan bases uninterested in the sport. The hard thing is the numbers don't back it up. What you're saying there, because I think there are a lot of people that feel that way.
Not yet.
Yeah, there may be a tipping point.
Remember, even the NFL took a hit on the knees people hitting a knee for the national anthem.
The NFL is king, but its numbers dropped significantly.
A lot of people said, "Hey, I'm just not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to watch."
I was one of them. Outside of Cowboys games, I watched almost nothing that particular season.
I think we have to let this play out to see, because as for now, numbers are gigantic, still generating mega profits, and still doing quite well. But one thing, it becomes pretty humorous to me, and this is happening in basketball as well, where you have to devote a column for almost each player to tell where they were at school before your schools.
No kidding.
And some of those can go as far as four schools. So that, to me, it's
almost uncommon if a guy hadn't been to 3 schools and he's a senior, right?
It's ridiculous. And that is something that's driving me crazy. All right, he was at Stetson. He was at Prairie View,
Chaminade,
A&M. I don't know. And then he was at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. It just drives me nuts. And it gets laughable almost.
It really is. And this has not been around that long. The transfer portal officially opened in 2019. That's 4 years. Hadn't been around that long. Was not heavy the first year, but since then it has been. I will say, to the texter's point / question, I didn't mean to spend this much time on it, but I used to watch college football across the board a ton. Now maybe it's working in it or whatever. I just don't watch near as much across the sport. I'll watch a lot of Big 12 games, and I watch Texas Tech games without missing. But that's it. Big 12, I'll watch that quite a bit. I don't venture outside the Big 12 a ton more unless I just need to for a certain game. Do you think Gabriel goes to Mississippi State?
Yeah, yes, I do.
That would be my prediction. I saw another one towards Oregon. Oregon's going to have to get a quarterback, it seems, because I don't think they're confident in their number 2 guy. It doesn't seem. Transfer portal sucks. It's amazing FCS Division II football has had it figured out for years, yet D1 still year after year bleeps the bed. Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
That somebody just called and asked.
Okay.
So
do you know who the somebody was so we can credit him?
Justin.
Okay.
So Justin? They went to the Lady Raiders basketball game. And it was him, his wife, and their son. And they got there, and there were some elderly people already in their seats. That's fine. And then they just sat a little closer. And then the people that are originally at their seats showed up. So they had to move 3 different times. What's the proper etiquette of trying to get where you're supposed to be, but you've already noticed that nice elderly people are already sitting there in your assigned seats?
If it's anybody besides elderly people, I'm usually saying, hey, I think these are our seats. Be very calm and nice about it.
I had this happen to me on Saturday.
Oh,
it
did
was,
you? In Arlington?
Yeah, it was. We had seats 4 and 5. There's a dad and a son in 4 and 5. And I said, hey, we had 4 and 5. He's like, well, and he wasn't a smart aleck about it. He's like, we had 7 and 6, 2 rows down. Those are gone. So we just moved up here to be with our family here. And I said, okay, we'll find some more seats. And then we went 2 rows deep and then sat down there. So, and they were
no
Texas
one ever bothered
fans.
you?
No one ever bothered. No, but you were all the time kind of looking. It's like, when are we going to have to go through this again?
Yeah, it's a difficult thing. The easiest thing is just sit in your seats, but I know that's not always. So usually, if it's the elderly couple, it's probably them in the wrong
And to
section.
be honest, it depends a lot
one over or something
on the amount of people who are attending said game.
I mean, you were at a sellout game,
Yeah.
technically. Obviously, there were some seats open, but it was a sellout game in Arlington. Big Benchwarmers, any truth to the rumors of ACC teams wanting to jump to the Big 12? I've seen said rumors. I would guess there's probably phone calls made, but I don't think there's any smoke or any legitimacy to it until you really start seeing some grumblings from the bigger names out there. I wouldn't be surprised if people were talking with Brett Yormark after that, because there's probably some panic of, holy cow, we're the ACC and we can't even get our big name in there. We need to form some sort of alliance, or we need to do this or that, or I don't know, Brett Yormark's got something going on over there. At least be part of the third best conference. Third most lucrative conference. So, I don't know. There's definitely rumors out there. The truth, I can't speak to it. You got any other opinion on it?
No, I know what you're talking about. The guy that tweeted that. It's that famous West Virginia guy.
Yeah,
I
don't even know what his name is, but
no, I don't. I just don't think that there's any room.
That is the hard thing right now. Unless you're doing a super conference. Are you talking like 30 teams at that point?
Are you at the point where you're like, God, man, if we...
Let's just disconnect from the big ones and go have a smaller championship?
It's like UCF.
Oh.
Sorry, we're going to switch you with Florida State. And then we're going to go, Cincy.
Sorry, man.
Sorry, we're taking Clemson. I don't know. I mean...
Well, even like names like Virginia Tech or Virginia, those are better than those two schools you just mentioned. Yeah, I don't know. The only one that feels like it really fits, that is a big boy, is BYU, of the new guys.
I agree.
They're a Power 5.
I agree.
Yeah, we gotta be quiet. They're a Power 5, but just wondering about the 2 very obvious defensive pass interference calls against Kansas City late in the fourth quarter.
It was like everybody lost their minds, and it felt like...
I don't know how you don't call it, though. It's just shocking.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see how 3 guys are...
Yeah.
And Snead can correct me on this, but I'm pretty sure 3 guys are in position where they can make that call. There are 3 different ones that can say, that's PI. And none of them pulled a flag on that? That's nuts to me.
It was like they almost got swept up in, hey, we didn't really call that one on the sideline on Mahomes right. We got to do something to balance that off. And then we got to do something to balance this and that. And then I'm with you. I mean, you go Superman over somebody's shoulders, land on them, make contact with their arms, give them 0 opportunity to catch football where it was clearly a catchable pass. It didn't happen. It just got wild. It's just like it got to where it was out of control with missing calls.
Yeah. And if you're just joining us, we have very much acknowledged that they screwed up the call on Mahomes being inbounds on the late hit. Benchwarmers, have y'all noticed the drop-off in Pat Mahomes' arm, or is it just me? It just looks like he doesn't quite have the accuracy on the long ball or the zip that he used to. I don't think there's a miss on the zip, personally. Accuracy, yeah, but I think it has as much to do with cohesion and cohesion is not the word, but just being on the same page with receivers. That's what it seems to be. Plus having Tyreek Hill, that helps. But even last year, they won a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill. You just don't have dudes that are making plays with Pat. Besides Travis Kelce, you don't have a guy that's in sync with him. So missing some synchronization there. There's a question about Shreveport, but we're out of time. I'm going to hold that one over. There's a couple more we'll hold over till tomorrow. Sorry we didn't get to all of y'all's, but appreciate all the questions, comments, the reactions today, the expressing of frustrations. Really appreciate all of that. We'll be back at it tomorrow, though. Hope you join us bright and early, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. For Geoff Haxton, for Lucas White, I'm Chois Woodman. It's been the End of the Bench right here on 100.7 The Score. Bottom line, up next.
This has been the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 107thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.